Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. As always, it's so lovely to spend time with you. And today I'm looking forward to using some of the fabulous new stamps we've got. I have to say, Tracy's excelled herself once again. The detail in these stamps is just amazing. And this is the design I thought we'd have a little play around with. And it has got a little bit of sparkle. I've used the Wink of Stella and I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick it up. Just if you look here, you can just catch a bit of it. It's not easy capturing sparkle. I always keep saying this, I need a cameraman. You know, one day. I need an IT expert as well. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a dinosaur in that area. But as soon as I saw these new stamps, I knew, as you know, I love creating sort of animals standing on top of one another, and these cheeky mice. But the pumpkins, they look fabulous. Just build them up. I mean, there are so many possibilities. Look, broomsticks, books. I mean, do you know what? Just stunning. And even some lovely new florals and containers. So I thought we'd have a play around at this design. As I say, something similar. You know what I'm like. And I've started off. Recently, I've been using this and I do find it difficult to say, the multi-pack of multifarious card. And I've just found it so useful because for those of you that make smaller designs, we've got the A6. The 7x7 is perfect. I love using that with my gel press. But these A5, I've just been using these so much. So we're going to start with an A5. And I've already popped the black line round it because I thought you don't want to see me doing that. I know my videos can be a bit long, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. And I'm going to start off with this beautiful first stamp, and it's called Wands and Spells. And if I was good, I would have had it on a block ready. And I love these books. I mean, they're going to be so useful. Now, I want to put these quite near the bottom. And I'm just going to do all my stamping today in black, so it's in the Nocturne. And I want to have this the distance for the broomstick. It's funny the way my head works. I was thinking of all the things that the mice and the pumpkins could balance on. So I'm thinking we want to be quite near the base. So I'll go one there. Now we've got 2 stacks of books. Again, lovely, lovely. Say, look at the detail in that. So we'll stamp another one. Now this is one of those where we've got white space. So I'm going to try and be good and keep the area white. So I want about the same distance from the opposite side, just so it looks pleasing to the eye. And hopefully they're about level. Now the broomstick, we've got 2, but I'm going to come in with the smaller one. And again, I could put it either way. Oh, Eric's wandering in. Hiya, mate. Right, sit down. Mummy's busy. Good boy. As soon as he hears me talking, he has to come in. Right, so I'm thinking, shall we have it about there? I mean, we have got so many fairies, and honestly, the broomsticks, they are just going to be so useful. And look at that, looks lovely. So next we need a cheeky mouse, which I've just dropped on the floor, right next to Eric. It must have known. They are so mischievous. Right. And this one, I think, is Tango, I think. Well, I've got to be honest, I just call them all cheeky mice. So again, I'm inking up in black. And I'm just going to pop him in the middle, sort of standing. And again, it is when you're at home and you're doing this, it's better to put your head right over. I'm being mindful. I don't want to put my head right in front of the camera. You don't want a headshot of me, do you? But there we go. And he's just pivoting on there, look. So we've done that okay. And next we'll come in with a pumpkin. And this one's the Playful Pumpkin. But there are so many of the different pumpkins, the lodge, the house. Honestly, I've had so much fun with these. And again, look at that, he's just going to fit perfectly. She says right on top of his hand there. Don't know, do mice have hands? Paw? Anyway, it fits perfectly on top. Lovely. Right, now the next task is if we can get, and this one I think is Moo from Minnie and Mo, and I think if we can, this is the next. I love doing this, but it's one of those where I love just stamping up designs and then, for me, adding the background after. So, I just want to see if I can get the foot just there. Let's see. Yeah, look, we're all right there. And then we've got some lovely containers. So we've got a jug. And we're just going to stamp that just up here. There, lovely. And I just need my coloured VersaFine Clair, which, would you believe, I didn't get out, but I've got it here, no need to worry. And we're going to add the lovely florals. And I think, now because the florals are on a stem, what I'm going to do is just tear myself a little piece of copy paper. And we'll just cover the top of that jug, look. So we'll have a couple in black, then we'll bring in the other colour. So we'll have one, and there are 3 different sprigs of these florals, 2, and then we'll give that a quick wipe. And again, you could stamp these in any colour, but because I know I'm stamping the pumpkin in orange, I've gone for the lovely summertime to tie it in. So we'll have one in the middle. We just made it at the top, look. These cheeky mice must be standing on tiptoes today. One there. And we'll go one just off there. As I say, there are 3 different florals, and look, we've masked off the jug, and I've actually used a different one to the one in my original. You know what? Just because I can. And we'll give that all a good blot. Just because, again, your VersaFine Clair, slower drying ink, and when I come in now with my stencil in the background, I don't want to smudge it because I'm so pleased with the way that's stamped and managed to keep it clean. And for me, I just like to do the stamping first. So what we'll do now is come in with our acetate hill masks, and I want the flatter one. Which is always the last one I put my hands on. And I'm going to use my Element ink, and I've gone for Bermuda. I'm just thinking with the orange and the green, I think the colours tie nicely together. So just underneath the books. And again, my green stencil brush. And I'm going to start actually under the book, so it's deeper where I've got most ink, and that'll almost give me my shadow to start off with. And then we'll whiz right across. Maybe just add a little bit more depth under those. Have a look. Little bit there, look, I just need to add just a bit more under there. So I'll just darken this side as well. And that's instantly given us that nice bit of grounding. And then we'll come in with our stencil. And I've gone for Flora this time. I just thought it was quite a nice open sort of wispy stencil. And I'm just going to turn my work round. It's easier for me. And I'm being mindful. And I'm just going to pop it like that. And I'm going to brush this way. So if I put that there. And the beauty of this is I can see through the stencil. So I can see obviously where the objects are and go round them. And again, I'm dabbing off on the lid, and I'm just doing a light tickle action to start off with, because I can always add. And again, I'm almost brushing the way that the stencil goes. So I'm almost doing a brushing action. I'm not going to go right to the edge. So let's have a little look how we've got. And look, it's amazing how much ink we've got there. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more just around my main characters here and in this corner. And then I'm going to call that a day. And if I lift that up to show you, because I know with it being so light and delicate, it doesn't really show. But that's just, and if you look, because I can see through the stencil, and that's for me why I'd rather do my stamping first and then my stencil work. And what we'll do, we'll just give this a quick wipe. Keep it all nice and clean and tidy. I want to keep this, you watch, I'm bound to put a mark on it now, aren't I, because I've said that. And I'm going to add some colour. And for my colour, I've got my clean colour pens. And all I've done is I've got myself a selection. I've got a couple of reds, a couple of yellows. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use. A couple of oranges. And I literally just go through I've got an assortment. I've built them up over years. So I've got an assortment. I've just got a green, a grey and a brown. Now, whichever colours I use, I will add underneath in the little description box. So what we'll do, I'll just start off at the top with our lovely jug, and I'm being mindful to rest on my kitchen towel. And then we'll come down and let's add some colour to our lovely pumpkin. And again, I'm going to do a bit of a cheats colouring. So I want a red, an orange, a yellow, and I can always bring in my light orange if I need it. So with my red, I'm just going to, where Tracy's given us more shade, she's given us areas where we know it's going to be darker. So that's at the base, look, and round the edges. And this is just, I know there are some colourists out there, and you know, I know some of you know how to do. This is just me for almost like a cheats colouring. I'm afraid I'm not as good as a lot of you, so I just do a bit of my own little version, and I'm just going to put a little bit under there. And then I'm going to come in with the orange, and the beauty of this is I can go over the red and the brush will pick up a little bit of that red and just blend it in with the orange. So I'm going round all the areas where I've got my red first. And remember, if I wanted, I could pick a little bit of red up on the nib, and it will revert back to the orange. And this is quite a deep orange. So what I'm going to do is come in, I've got a lighter orange. So I'm going to come in and blend that now to a lighter orange. And I just want a little bit of highlight in the middle with my yellow. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit of yellow, but then go back with my light orange. And it's just a matter of building up the colour until you're happy with it. And again, I tend to go with my lighter colour over the whole lot, just to have a look and see. Now, I want a bit more of this darker orange. There's just not enough orange in there for me. So I'm actually going to come in and add a bit more. And again, no two of these ever turn out the same, because depending how I'm feeling depends on what sort of, and I think I've used a darker red on there. I think on my original I probably had a brighter red, so we'll add a little bit of brighter red in there. And that's what I love about these pens. You can really build up. Yes, I like that brighter red. And I'll just soften that with the yellow where I've added that red. Right. Happy with that. I'll add the stem in a minute just so the colours don't bleed. I'm going to let that almost relax and we'll go down to the books now. Now the books, it's just a matter of, I used the colours that I had just to tie in the colour tones together. So we'll have a red one there, and again, no skill required. I'm literally just colouring, and we'll go for the red one here. And I love these because they do look like proper. I love books. I know we do a lot on social media and things, but I actually love books. I love buying for the grandchildren proper books. I think there's something about actually opening a book. So again, I'm just adding some colour here. And I'm being mindful, I don't want the two piles to be exactly the same. Just because I think it adds a bit more interest. And again, I'm not doing anything special with the colouring. We're just... And like I say, using the same colour tones. Now, seeing as I've got my yellow, I'm going to add a little bit to my broom here. Brighten that yellow up a bit. There we go. In fact, I might just add a bit. Right, I'm going to put some lids on these. Got one in my hand. And then I'm just going to bring in, I've got a brown and a grey. So I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm not sure if this, oh yeah, I like that brown. Again, we'll just add a little bit of brown right across. And then I'll just come back in with that yellow. Just for the broom, I like the mixture of the yellow and the brown. I use that brown on one of the books as well. And we'll go with this one, I think. And then I've got this, just got a grey, just because I didn't want to introduce another colour. Sort of, I didn't want to go too much down any blues or just because of keeping it sort of in the nice tones that I've got. So with my green, I'll just add a little bit here, just to the top of the pumpkin. I've no idea what it's called, the top of the pumpkin. That green bit there. And then with the orange, just add the little bits of tie there, just so it ties it all up nicely. So it just flows. You just want the whole design to look, so the colours flow. And as I say, I'll make a note of those pen numbers. But I think any sort of red, orange, yellow, for me, that they all blend. What I do need to do is just get the grey and just fill in. I've left the little spaces in between the books, and I just think the grey fills it nicely. It almost gives that shadow without over, you don't want your eye to go there too much, but it just fills in that space. Right, so we can add a little bit of shade now, and we're going to come in with our Van Gogh pencils, our pastel pencils. Again, it's like everything, it's finding space. So I'm just going to add some shade here, just with the black. Now we'd have a bit of shade here from our dangling mouse, and we'd have just a bit of shade from this pile of books. So I'm just gonna smudge it with my finger. Smudging does two things. I personally just like the way the smudging looks, but also with it being a pastel, it just fixes it. And it just means I don't have to use a spray fixative. can just build that up. I don't want to overcook it, but I just want it to add a bit more. Just looks a bit more believable, doesn't it? When we've got a bit of shade. Well, I think so anyway. Right, that's better. Don't know why I just didn't like that today. It just didn't look more like it was shade. That's better. I've just added a light brown. Just looks that bit better. Right, so we'll just get the white now and add our little. We'll just add a little bit down the side here. Just again, I don't want to overcook it. And again, just down and just a bit of shape and on his tummy there. Oh, the eyes we can add a little bit, can't we? And again, just under his chin. No, here we say he, I don't know why. His or hers chin. Like I say, I don't want to overdo it. Just enough that it makes it look. So we'll file those on the floor. And with my black fine liner, I just want to add a little bit of, so it looks like we've got movement. So I just like to make it look as though we're balancing. So a couple of little finishing tricks. And I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella. And in fact, before I do that, I've got one of the Signo, and this is a metallic, and they come in lots of different colours, and this is the green. And what I'm going to do is just add, I'll lean on this, come on, don't get any marks. And then I'm just going to, we've got some marks on the pumpkin. And when I started colouring my pumpkin in, I couldn't decide whether I was going to actually leave them and put them in with another colour. But you know what, honestly, when I tried, I thought, oh, no need to sigh, Eric. I thought, no, I can't do that. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go in, and the pen actually covers them over the top beautifully. And what I'm going to do, just so it ties in, we'll just add a little bit of the bands on this book here, and maybe a little few on here. And as I say, these come in lots of different colours, so do have a look for them. Right, Wink of Stella. And we'll have some Wink of Stella on our florals. And then a little bit on our pumpkin. Got to need a bit of sparkle. And what I love about this is we'll get sparkle, but it's not really thick sparkle. And again, as you know, as it dries, it will be more sparkly. And if I'm worried about contaminating, so because the pen isn't quite dry, look, just a bit of kitchen paper. In fact, if I go to the red that side and do both, because obviously red's my stronger colour, just take it off on the kitchen paper and then look, it's fine. And I'm going to see if I can lift that up. Obviously the Wink of Stella, it does get more sparkly as it dries, but I'm hoping you can just see here, look, a little bit of that sparkle. And I've left this without a sentiment, so that we've got so many beautiful sentiment stickers plus stamps. You could leave this and add a sentiment of your choice. And that's what I love about this type of design, look, that you can decide what, I mean, the sentiment for me, this could be, do you know somebody who's having a hard time, you know, they're trying to do a balancing act. Hey, play on words there. You could offer them a hand, maybe some cheeky mice to help them out. So, you know, this would be a lovely fun birthday card. You know, it doesn't just have to be Halloween. We're talking autumn, we're talking, you know, if you didn't want to use the pumpkin, we've got lots of other things you could put in here. The books, could it be for a teacher? You know, as I say, so many, just honestly, you just get those crafty juices flowing. So I hope you have a go at this or something similar. What are you going to stack? I can't wait to see. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure and honour to spend time with you. You take care. Love and hugs from me. See you again soon. Bye for now.